Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Westworld finale video. It was totally crazy. They answered most of the biggest theories. There were a couple teasers for Season 2, so I'll explain what's going on with Season 2. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. I'm going to start a Westworld giveaway. It's just for an HBO Now subscription. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. Make sure you click that bell and enable alerts so that you don't miss out on anything. So what's going on? There's so much to talk about. Season 2, first one. There are 10 episodes. Ed Harris has been confirmed to be coming back, so I'll explain the twist with his character at the end. But he said that he doesn't think that they're going to start filming till next June or July. Depending on how long it takes to film, it could premiere at the beginning of 2018 or during the summer or even during this time. But that means that there will not be new Westworld episodes next year, which is a bummer. But I felt like the series actually stuck the landing pretty well, like it kind of found its legs. It had a few production problems behind the scenes. They had to halt production for a little while to finish the last couple of scripts. And aside from all the actors playing characters that were still alive in the final moments of the episode, they haven't really confirmed who's coming back. Like they haven't said whether or not Anthony Hopkins is going to play a role. But think about it this way, number 2, is Ford still alive? What was that mystery body that Ford was fabricating in the underground lab? Was that a body for himself? Is he going to turn himself into another Bernard? The problem with that is that it would kind of undercut his death at the end of the episode. So it seems like he's largely gone, but because of the way the hosts have access to all their memories simultaneously, you can still bring the Ford character back. It's just that it'll be a previous version of him. So in present day, Ford is probably dead, but that doesn't mean that you've seen the last of Anthony Hopkins on the show. But I don't think that he's going to come back as a host. But speaking of which, number 3, what was the Red Wedding all about? Like, are they going to make Game of Thrones world? George R. R. Martin actually did say that it would be really cool to have a Game of Thrones world inside the world of the show, which, just sounds amazing. The thing about the Red Wedding is that Ford was probably trying to neutralize the board. Like, he was probably trying to kill Charlotte, the Man in Black, anybody that would seek to harm the hosts and stop them from becoming the people that he wanted them to try and become. So what does that mean about the Man in Black? We know he's survived somehow, even though he seemed really happy when he got shot with the shotgun in the arm. So he probably found a way to escape in those final moments. But he is going to do everything he can to protect the park now because he got what he wanted. He wanted hosts that could fight back. He wanted Westworld to truly be real, for the consequences to be final. And now that the handful of sentient hosts have achieved consciousness again, he's gotten that. So he is probably the happiest person at the end of this episode, despite the fact that they're out for his blood. Like, they're trying to kill him right now, and he's smiling with this big shit-eating grin on his face. But the whole thing with Charlotte, she was saying that she doesn't care what happens inside the park as long as they dumb it down. So the Man in Black was on board with that for a little while. Like, he didn't care about Ford, but now he's probably going to backtrack on that and just do everything he can to make sure the sentient hosts, there's like a small population of sentient hosts, just continue to exist. But number 4, let's talk about the maze. It was this big red herring for the entire season. The maze is really just the process by which Dolores and the other sentient hosts bootstrap their own consciousness. As Ford said, the great gift doesn't come from a higher power, it comes from within. That was what the Michelangelo's painting was all about. Like, you look at this image here, and then you realize that there's the human brain hidden here. So the person speaking to Dolores, guiding her back to this place, to like where this little tin with the maze was each time, is actually herself. Her memories from the first time she achieved consciousness. This isn't the first time that she's become sentient. Like, she achieves that goal, then as Ford and Bernard have said, they've rolled them back unless they go insane, and then they stick them down here. So all the hosts that were standing down here, like all the naked hosts, those were the ones that achieved sentience and went insane. Like in the past, 35 years ago, when Arnold is explaining the maze to Dolores, like, don't worry, Dolores, you'll get it, you'll understand. He's talking about how, like, as they slowly make their way to the center of the maze, they can go spiraling out and go crazy. These hosts here, like the Abernathy host, went insane when they achieved consciousness. Dolores, on the other side of that, did not. Like, she was able to handle it, but she still got rolled back. So the only thing that really made me upset about this big reveal is that the man in black just did not figure it out. He was way thicker than I thought that he would be. Like, he's shaking Dolores, asking for Wyatt, and there's no light bulb in his head. He doesn't realize that Dolores is really Wyatt. But number 5, what's going to happen to Dolores now? She just killed a whole bunch of people. The park is on lockdown, so it seems like the people in the control room that would be able to record what's happening don't have access to that. So they don't know that all these people are getting slaughtered right here. So season 2 is just a bunch of these conscious hosts just trying to make decisions. Ford had that big speech about the choices that they would have to make, the people that they would choose to be. Like, they have to figure out as a group what they're going to do now that they have their own free will, which speaks to Maeve, number 6. Why did Maeve get off the train, and who had rewritten her program to cause her to try and leave the park? Like, she thought that she was breaking her loop, but then Bernard found out that she was really just following a new narrative that somebody had secretly written for her without a name on it. So what I think was going on is that Ford rewrote her narrative and caused her to try and break her loop so that she would create a distraction that would allow his Red Wedding narrative to play out. But Maeve, Armistice, and Hector all did achieve sentience. They were part of the sentient host, so I would expect them to come back sentient next season. Armistice had that great post-credit scene. They just wanted to let you know that she was still alive and was still going to go on a killing spree. So Armistice had one of the most fun performances from the episode. She was one of the MVPs. Just that smile on her face, like she was just having so much fun. So next big question. The samurai world. What is up with Kurosawa world? So if you guys don't know, there was the Shakespeare line, "These violent delights have violent ends." There were a lot of people speaking Shakespeare during the season. So when Maeve was like, what is all this? What are all these samurai? And Felix says, it's complicated. It's just them teasing that there's a whole other park based on Eastern culture. That's what the samurai were all about. It's not part of Westworld. It's like a whole different other place. So the idea is that we'll start seeing multiple parks. Like the sequel to the original Westworld movie was called Future World. It was about a completely different type of park. So there'll just be this Kurosawa park. So just to bring it back around to Shakespeare, the thing about Kurosawa is that he made some amazing samurai films, but they were all adaptations of Shakespeare plays. So if you really thought it was freaky and awesome when people like Abernathy in that first episode were speaking Shakespeare in that creepy way, we might get a whole bunch of samurai speaking Shakespeare in season 2. But number 8, why did Maeve get off the train? So that was all happening with the voiceover from Ford doing the speech about the choices that they would have to make, the people they would choose to become, lies that told a deeper truth. So the thing about her daughter is that she's not really her daughter because they're artificial. She was created and they just wrote a story where she was her daughter. But the Michelangelo painting deeper meaning for Maeve was that her daughter really meant something to her. She had this emotional bond to her. So she was choosing her daughter over her freedom. So she will probably retain her sentience and just go back and try to find her daughter now. But number 9, what happened to Logan in the past? William, Man in Black, confirmed, just stuck him on the horse naked with a feather at the edge of the park and just set him off running. So they played it really ambiguously, like did he die? Did they find him eventually? And his father gave William control of the company because they thought that Logan was so crazy because they found him naked on a horse riding at the edge of the park. The whole speech that William had at the end was, your father will probably want someone more stable to run the company. So what that probably implies is that they eventually did find Logan, but they thought he was totally crazy, ranting about all the crazy stuff that William did. No one believed him, so they just kind of tucked him away in an office at the Delos Corporation, never to be heard from again. But the woman that William was getting ready to marry was Logan's sister, so Logan probably told her she probably believed him. So a couple of episodes ago, when the Man in Black said his whole life his wife was afraid of him, that's probably why. She probably believed about all the crazy stuff that Logan said that he did while they were inside the park. But number 10, the photograph. So a lot of you detected this earlier. The photograph in the past, like the 30-year ago William, young William, dropped it as he was dragging Logan around that was later found by Abernathy, who stared at it and achieved sentience, went insane, and set off the events at the end of that first episode. So in a way, William, the Man in Black, kind of helped set this all off. But the way they explain it is that the hosts achieve sentience all the time and they just roll them back. So this has been happening for a long time. It's just that Ford had been building towards a moment where he could make it stick. So the board still had a lot of control over him. So that's probably why he couldn't let this happen before now. Like he explains in the past, he had the argument with Arnold. He didn't believe that the host could be sentient, but then after Arnold's death, he changed his mind. So started the long process of trying to help the hosts become the people that Arnold thought that they could eventually become. So there was a lot of Ford language in the episode that made it sound like they would eventually get out of the park. He was saying, if you ever hope to get outside of this place, do you know the person that you have to become? So what he meant by that is that she'll have to achieve consciousness and not go crazy. Like she'll have to learn to be able to coexist with humans, even though they are going to inherit the Earth eventually. So even though we didn't see Maeve get outside of the park, I do think that eventually in one of these future seasons, they have like 5 seasons planned, we'll see a host outside in the real world. And what this is all implying is that by the series finale, like whatever the final season is, the final episode, the hosts will all break free and inherit the Earth. Like they'll all be roaming around like Cylons. So if you really wanted to, you could think about this as like a Battlestar prequel. Like all the Cylons are slowly gaining sentience. Now they're choosing what to do. Season 2 will be them deciding what they're going to do with their consciousness. But hopefully a whole lot of Samurai World on there. So let me know in the comments, do you think that we are going to see way more Samurai World in Season 2? And leave a like if you want to see, bringing it back around to Red Wedding, Lannister's Game of Thrones. Leave a like if you want to see Charles Dance, Tywin Lannister, become a member of the Delos board. We haven't met all the board members, but a lot of them were there. So they're going to have to replace a lot of them. So I would just love to see someone as evil looking as Tywin Lannister in a 3-piece suit, just sitting there talking with the Man in Black. That would just be so awesome. But what's going to happen next is there's a big Transformers trailer that's kind of Game of Thronesy that'll be dropping later today. I'll be doing a video for that. Then I'll do a Walking Dead finale trailer video, and then I'll do a Westworld Season 2 predictions video. So that should be the video order, but I'll post updates as I post new videos. While you guys wait for that to post, make sure you click here and watch last night's episode of The Walking Dead, and you can click here for my Westworld playlist with all the videos. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.